Hey guys, it's Kimmi and welcome to Notary Life with Kimmi. Well, hey, today we are talking about how to do proper screening for general notary work. What does that look like? What questions do you need to ask? Many of you want to participate or do general notary work and you're just frightened. You don't know where to start. What happens when the phone rings, right? So I'm going to do a couple sample mock phone calls with you. I'm going to give you a list of screening questions that you want to get a pen and paper ready to write down for your next call, or so you can start doing general notary work. You may know that I introduced a new course just a few days ago. General notary work. Don't be scared. It's not that complicated, right? So I'm going to give you a sneak peek into what that looks like. Some of the things that I talk about in the course, because I really want you to add this to your business model. Adding general notary business can take your business from a zero to a hero. Okay, so let's get started. So when the phone rings, again, you're going to be frightened, right? So I'm going to go over some sample questions with you. Then I'm going to actually do some mock phone calls. So what are some of the questions you want to ask? Before we even get started, I always say questions equal money. The more questions you ask, that's letting that client know, wow, I thought I was just calling for a notary. Now you're adding value. So questions equal money. And they're going to push back. They're not going to want to answer your questions. Believe me when I tell you. I'm going to do a sample of those with you too, what that sounds like when they don't want to answer your questions. But questions equal money. So let's get right into it. So the first thing you want to ask is, what type of document do you have? Why do you need to know what kind of document they have? Because if it's just a school note, I'm not going to charge as much as if I have a trust package, which contains more documents, more valuable documents, right? Before we start talking about that, don't ask me how much should I charge, because this video is not about pricing, okay? I have several videos that are about pricing, so check those out. Always check with your state first. But that's why we want to know what kind of document, what's the value to that paper, okay? Even though we're just doing a notarization, there's value to that paper, whatever the document is. Again, a trust package is going to be way more valuable than just a little mom trying to enroll her child in school, right? So you do want to ask what type of document. That will also let you know, do you need witnesses? If it's a power of attorney or a will, it may need witnesses. So we need to ask those questions. What kind of document is it? Some people may say, well, you don't need to know what kind of document it is. Just how much are you charging? No. You do need to know what type of document, because that affects the whole transaction, okay? So you also want to know, does the person have current ID? If their ID is expired and you drive to the appointment, you've wasted time if your state does not allow you to accept an expired ID. So I'm going to push back. Check your state rules and your handbook. Can you accept an expired ID? If so, how long? Is it valid for 5 years after the expiration date? Many of your older clients will not have a current ID. So you need to know that. How many documents actually need to be notarized? So is it one document? Is it 5 documents that need to be notarized? That's also important for pricing. If it's just one document in your state and it's only, your fee is only $5 or $2 per stamp, you might waive the fee and just make your money up on the travel. But if you're in California and you can charge $15 per stamp, well, that changes everything, because you're probably going to charge $15 for every stamp, right? So you need to know how many documents actually need to be notarized. You also want to ask and I'm going to go back and recap these really succinct for you. So we're just going to discuss them right now. You also want to find out what is the location of the signing. If it's a hospital, jail, nursing home, you probably want to add a little bit more to your fee, because those are going to take more time. You may have to pay for parking. You may have to navigate the hospital, driving through that. I have all of this in my new course. Again, general notary work. Don't be scared. It's not that complicated. I also have videos on my channel about each of the various locations that we're talking about too. Then you want to know, is a patient alert? So if you're going to a hospital, you need to know, are they going to be able to answer you? And you make communication with them when you get there to confirm, yes, they are signing this of their own free will. Yes, they do know they're giving power over to their daughter, or yes, they are giving power over to their husband. Can you and the patient communicate? It may not always be a verbal, so there may be times when you have to do what's called creative thinking or work outside the box, but every client may not be able to verbally answer you. So you're going to have to make a decision as the pro in the room if you're going to proceed with a notarization or not. That's just I cannot tell you that because I'm not at the call with you. So before you even ask me, well, how do I know? Something you're going to have to figure out. Do they know today's date? Is not always a perfect one because they may not know today's date. I don't even know what today's date is. Okay? I'm supposed to be in my right mind or whatever. So I don't even know. So that may not be always a good indicator. Sometimes you have to just read the room. What's going on in the room? Does it feel right, you know? So we're not notarizing based on feeling, but you do have to take everything into account. Then you're going to ask the person, of course, what's the best time for them to notarize the documents. If you're going to someone's home, I always like to ask, do they have any pets? Because that's going to set the tone for me. Do I need them to put the pet up? I have a whole video on pets. Also, if you are also afraid of animals or have allergies, you may want to ask if you're going to someone's home, do they have pets? That's another question that I like to ask. So all of these different questions, I'm getting ready to do it one by one for you. Then I'm going to do a couple mock phone calls for you. The last question I usually will ask, and there are many more you can think about as you're doing your business, what you need to know. But another question is, what method of payment will you be using today? Because a lot of times you want to make sure they have your cash or they're paying with a card. You want to know how are you going to get paid, right? So all of these things I discussed in my new course. Again, general notary work. Don't be scared. It's not that complicated. All right. So anyway, let's do those questions very succinctly, and then I'm going to do a couple mock phone calls with you, okay? So, what type of document do you have? Do you have current ID? Is the document already completed except the signatures? Because you don't want to be waiting there while they are getting that completed. So, is the document fully completed except the signatures? How many documents actually need to be notarized with my notary stamp? Where is the signing going to take place? Is the patient alert? Are witnesses needed for the document? Will they be providing the witnesses, or do you have to provide the witnesses? Where is the location? What time of day would they like to have it completed? Are there any pets? What method of payment will they be using? So get your pen and paper out because it's a lot of questions, right? And there may be more based on your area. So now I'm going to do a couple phone calls with you just to give you an idea what that sounds like, okay? When someone calls you for general notary work. 1, thank you for calling None Better Notary. This is Kimberly. How may I help you? Yes, ma'am. I was calling today because I need to get a will notarized for my mom at the hospital. Oh, okay, so your mom is in the hospital. Is she alert? She is. Okay, very good. Now, the will, how many witnesses are required for the document? 2. Okay. And do you have your witnesses already, or will I need to provide them for you? You need me to provide them. Okay, yes, ma'am. I do have a witness list that I can call two people to be a witness for you. Yes, there's an additional fee for me to provide the witnesses for you, but we all can arrive at the appointment at the same time. And mom does have current ID. Is that correct? Okay, very good. And then what method of payment will you be using today? Yes. Okay, well, I'll see you at the appointment very soon. So that was just one appointment going to a hospital, and mom had a will. Let's do one more with someone just has a school note, okay? Because again, every call is going to be different. So let's do another one. Ring, ring. Thank you for calling None Better Notary. This is Kimberly. How may I help you today? Oh, yes, ma'am. Oh, you're trying to enroll your child in school. You have one document that needs to be notarized. Okay, and where are you located? Are you the signer of the document? Just you? Oh, it's you and the uncle where you both reside. Okay, so 2 people. All right, and you live where, ma'am? Oh, yes, I do see you're literally around the corner from me. Okay, no problem. Yeah, so I can do that for you. So you have the 1 school note, 2 signers. You both have current ID, correct? All right, yes. And my fee will be $40. Okay. Yes, ma'am. I can be there at 3 o'clock. I will see you soon. So in that case, guys, it was a mom, just a little school note. My minimum to leave my house is around $40. Normally for something like that, I probably would have charged her $30, but $40 just rolls off so nicely. But that's my minimum to leave my home. You have to come up with your own price list. So again, I wanted to give you a couple of sample reenactments of what that sounds like when the client does not want to give you the information that you need, because it can be so funny, right? Mr. Smith, how many documents do you have that require notarization today? Oh, it's just a couple. It's just a few. Oh, Mr. Smith, I don't need to know exactly how many. Can you count them for me? 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's actually 5. Oh, okay. 5 documents. Very good. So as you can see, a lot of times they don't want to tell you because they know it's going to cost money, right? Here, let's do a couple more. Mr. Smith, what type of document do you have today? Oh, it's just a paper. It's just a paper. No, that's not acceptable. Mr. Smith, can you please look at the document and tell me what it is, please? Oh, you're selling a property over in Jamaica. See, he didn't want me to know he's selling a property over in Jamaica, right? Because that means money. He just wanted to tell me it's just a piece of paper. It's never just a piece of paper. Whenever they start hemming and hawing and don't want to tell you what it is, that's when I really want to know what it is. So you might as well tell me up front, right? Let's do one more. Mr. Smith, does your document require witnesses? Nope, no witnesses. Can you double check that for me? Oh, no, I know it doesn't. Mr. Smith, can you look normally towards the back of the package where you and I have to sign together, or the document, please? It may require witnesses. Oh, you're right. It does require witnesses. So you see, they will give you pushback. So again, questions equal money. So we must find out. If it means an extra 2 to 3 minutes on the telephone, that's what it's going to take us to find out the truth. And a lot of times, I don't know if it's that they don't want to pay. They know it's going to cost more money or whatever, but questions equal your time. Questions equal money. So you got to keep prying. You got to keep asking. All right, this will help you in your screening process. So just to recap, I just wanted to give you some questions that you can think about when you're to be a pro at doing general notary work. It does require a little skill, and that's why I'm highly encourage you to take my new course, General Notary Work. Don't be scared. It's not that complicated because it's going to really, really prepare you. You want to be a pro in whatever part of the notary industry you are working. So one more time, just to be clear on those questions. What type of documents do you have? Where is the signing located? How many people have to sign? Are witnesses required for the document? Is the patient alert? Will you be providing the witnesses? What is the best time to complete the signing for you today? Where are you located? Are there any pets? And also, what method of payment will you be using? So I hope that helps a little bit and you can start your general notary work. Again, for all these courses and details that I'm talking about, visit us at notaryeducatorsllc.com. You got this. Bye.